Hello, my name is Sonja Walker. I'm the founder of Kids First Children's Services. Welcome to this presentation about solutions for the school holidays, ideas for busy parents. I hope that these practical and supportive ideas will be helpful for you and your children and your family these school holidays as you gear up for some time together. Do you look forward to the school holidays but find that after about 4 days you can't wait until your children get back to the routine of preschool and school? School holidays can be a fantastic time of rest and renewal, but they can also be a little bit like going on vacation and swapping one kitchen for another, because grown-ups can sometimes work harder in school holidays than they do when they're at home and kids are on their usual routines. During our school holidays, kids do need to get a rest from being told what to do all day. For many children, learning at preschool and school is actually quite hard, and so they do need a rest, and school holidays do come as a bit of a relief. For other children, though, they're social butterflies and they really miss their friends during the school break. So while we all hope and dream that our kids will get along with one another, the novelty of holidays can wear off pretty quickly. And so it's up to the grown-ups in the family to create the structure that kids need to successfully manage the school holiday times. I like to call it planned freedom, and hopefully we'll have some ideas in this presentation that will give you some tips to create a successful solution to your school holiday squabbles. Your kids are on holidays and you finally have the chance to be a little bit more free with your time. But here's the thing, kids actually thrive when they have predictability and confidence about what's happening next. They actually need you to create the boundaries for their day. These school holidays try to find a balance between allowing them that freedom to enjoy the break while still providing a sense of structure and security. Some ideas for making this happen at your house include creating a visual schedule. Use a whiteboard, use paper, use pencils, whatever's appropriate for your children. If your kids can read, make a list of the day's activities for the family the night before so that they know what's going on the next day before they go to bed. You might find that there are some fantastic free templates that you can grab online and you can print them and use them, and everybody in the family can have a go at planning what they're going to do the next day. I'd encourage you to keep some consistency around waking up and going to bed times, because that keeps your children in a familiar pattern and makes going back to preschool and school easier at the end of the holidays. And you also might like to incorporate something a little bit different to help your kids manage transitions. Things like a bell or even a song from your Spotify list might be a great way to help kids know that they need to move on to the next activity. Teachers use this kind of strategy all the time, and one way that you can give your kids choice is to maybe let them choose the song of the day. All of these kinds of things are practical and easy to implement at home. During the school holidays, allowing your children to make choices is more than merely letting them pick between vanilla and chocolate ice cream flavours. It's actually a clever way to nurture their decision-making skills and build their independence. When you give your kids choices, it does take a little bit of grown-up thinking to make sure that their choices are a win for you and a win for them. But actually, when you do give your kids a little bit of power, you might find that some of their behaviours are easier to manage. And this is because behaviour is communication. Often children just want to have a little bit more control in their lives, and so they'll stamp their feet and do things to make you notice them. Sometimes those things aren't so positive. So when you do give them choice, that can make a big difference. Some practical ideas include doing simple things like playing sorting games. You might get the kids involved in sorting the fruit, sorting the toys, sorting the clothes, asking them to categorise things based on colours or shapes or sizes. You're actually getting jobs done, but you're getting their help too. One of my favourite activities, though, is to create an activity jar. All you need to do is grab some Post-it notes or some pieces of paper, grab a jar, put lots and lots of different ideas onto the Post-it notes, pop them into the jar, And then at various times in the day when kids say, I'm bored, or I don't know what to do now, you can let them choose one of those notes and they can engage in whatever activity is listed on it. This is a great way to give kids choices. All of the activities that are in the jar are acceptable for you, so it's a win for you. But by being able to make a choice, children feel like they've got a little bit of control and it encourages their independence and their decision making too. A visual timer is a fantastic tool to use with your children any time of the year, but they're even more effective in holiday times when kids have lots and lots of time at hand. Visual timers help kids to break their day into manageable chunks. They're particularly helpful for children aged under 8 who might struggle with abstract concepts like time. If you have a 4-year-old, soon means very little to them. And even for 6-year-olds, the concept of in 5 minutes doesn't mean much either. Visual timers and schedules reduce the need to constantly talk to or at your children, because instead of having to listen to what you've said and remember all of those words, they can simply look at the schedule and know what's going on. They can come back to that schedule and refer to it all day long if they need to. And this helps them to process information without you having to say it over and over and over again. The free Time Timer app could be the secret weapon that you need to help your kids manage tasks and transitions, not just in the school holidays, but every day. You can use a time timer in lots and lots of different practical ways. One way is to help your children prepare for transitions. So you might use it when they're engaging in some art and craft or they're playing with Lego, and you can set the timer so that they know how much longer they've got between now and the end of that activity. You can also use a time timer to help children transition in and out of places like parks or the beach. It's a great way to help kids know that you'll be leaving soon without having to say that to them over and over again. And of course, a time timer is perfect for helping children learn how to take turns. You can say, it's Roger's turn now, and when the timer goes off, it's Madeline's turn. The timer becomes the arbiter of the activity. So instead of you being mean mum or mean dad who's ending something that's fun, the timer is the thing that governs the game. It can be a fantastic way to help your children get along with one another and create structure in their day so that they feel like they're in control, they know what's going on, and you don't have to nag them. We all know that kids are just not built to sit inside all day. For their mental, social, and physical health, as well as for their emotional and sensory regulation, they need to move, and they need to move often. Holidays often involve indulgence. Grown-ups like to sit around, but kids don't. And so ensuring that your children have plenty of opportunities for physical activity is going to be very important in the school holidays. We know that exercise promotes energy release and mood improvement and healthy habits. And so there are lots of cost-effective ways that you can keep your kids active, boost their well-being, and foster creativity and family bonding in the school holidays. Some practical ideas include simple things like creating a backyard obstacle course where the kids can use things like hula hoops or cones or even just ropes and skipping ropes and things like that to have a bit of a game outside. You can get them involved in that, and then they can race and use a timer to see who's got the fastest time or the best personal time. You can do things like organise a DIY sports day where we play a variety of different kind of games. We do a beanbag toss, or we make a homemade ring toss, or we get the basketball hoop out. You can have a family dance party, get free music that's streamed from your music account or playlists that you create from your favourite music collection and get everybody having a disco at home. And of course, getting out into nature is very important too. So if you can take your children to a park or into the bush or down to a reserve or down to the beach where you can collect shells or look for crabs, all of these kinds of things don't cost very much at all, but are a great way to get your children out and about and get them moving during the holidays. The opposite side to lots of movement, of course, is rest and relaxation. Learning to relax is a skill that will serve your children very well as they get older. And in this busy world that we live in, learning how to chill out is actually very important for their well-being. Holidays often bring excitement, but can also lead to restlessness and anxiety for some children. So quiet, mindful activities that promote calmness and focus and self-awareness are fantastic for children. When you make space for daily quiet time, you provide your children with an opportunity to unwind and recharge and develop a sense of inner calm that is very important during the whirl and activity of holidays. There are lots of ways that you can do this cheaply and easily. There are many free resources that you can use for guided relaxation and mindfulness. Things like the free Smiling Mind app is fantastic for kids. And you can also use YouTube to get videos that are helpful and help children learn how to relax using exercises that are tailored just for little kids. You might find that sensory play is also something that is calming and relaxing for your children. So if you have things like dried pasta or rice or sand at home, you might find that popping them into a container and letting your children enjoy calming tactile experiences really does the trick in helping them to have that quiet time. There are lots of other ways that you can enjoy activities that are calm and quiet. Why not create a little calm corner at home? It might be just a simple space that's got some pillows and some cushions, even putting a sheet or a blanket over a table and creating a cubby house for your children creates a space where they can go and just chill. These things are not expensive to do. They're not hard. They don't take a lot of time, but the advantages for your children are huge and will help you to create a warm, inviting and calm moment in your day where you and your children can just relax. Have you ever wondered how you can transform holiday periods into exciting adventures for your children without having to leave home and spend lots of money? One way is to organise themed days at home. A themed day injects enthusiasm and variety into your family's routine, and it fosters creativity and bonding moments, and kids love them. Many kids do enjoy the build-up to an at-home theme day, and you can use these kinds of things to implement themed activities each day and then build up to one big day in the week where you are focusing on that theme. Some ideas include having an art gallery at home. Each day your children can be doing some art and craft activities. They keep them till a certain day in the week, and then perhaps you invite some neighbours or grandparents or other people that they love to come to their art gallery and to peruse their masterpieces. Kids also like getting outside, so you might find that a backyard camping experience might be just the ticket for your children. You can pop a tent or make a teepee out of a sheet and a few sticks into your backyard and engage in things like stargazing or telling campfire stories or just eating and drinking outside. You'd be surprised how much kids enjoy something as simple as that. Another idea is superhero training days. You might have some young superheroes in your family, and so we might get ourselves dressed up and prepared with all sorts of activities that showcase our strength and our stamina and our problem-solving abilities. And of course, cultural cuisines might be something that you prepare for and enjoy on a themed day. You might decorate the house. You might choose recipes that go with your culture or another culture and give your children an opportunity to prepare and cook and then eat those fabulous, tasty goodies. All of these things are not hard to do. They just take a little bit of planning and a little bit of thought on your part. And the enthusiasm with which you engage in these things will no doubt be matched by your children. Transforming indoor play into outdoor play can bring a whole new level of excitement and imagination to your children's activities during the holidays. When you take familiar indoor activities outside, you not only add variety to your children's play, but you also encourage creativity and exploration in a refreshing new environment. Play can happen in any outdoor setting that's safe. So a local park or a beach or a lakeside reserve could work. And that also has the added bonus because sometimes there's other kids in those places and your children get the chance to perhaps meet new friends when you get there. One of my favourite outdoor activities for children is chalk games. You can simply take the chalk to a park or a garden and teach your children games like hopscotch or handball. You can also create a giant outdoor drawing and get the kids to colour it in. Or you can do what some of the children in my neighbourhood have done over the years, and that is to use the pavement or the sidewalk to draw pictures and write positive messages for the people who are walking by. You'd be surprised how much joy and excitement they get from hiding in their front garden and watching people as they walk past and see their children's messages. So it doesn't really matter if you live in a house with a garden or if you live in an apartment. You can take your children's play outside. A few cushions, a bit of thought, a hat and some sunscreen is all you need to give children variety, to change up their environment and give them some new way to enjoy play during the holiday time. A resource about managing school holidays would not be complete without talking about screens. During holiday time, screen time does tend to skyrocket, and this does affect kids' sleep and their mood. It can also cause lots and lots of unnecessary arguments in the family. And so finding a balance between tech time and old-fashioned fun is key for a happy and healthy break for your children and your family. The key to managing screen time and green time is setting your expectations early and sticking to them. Remember, it'll be important these holidays to set clear and consistent guidelines for your children regarding their use of devices and to outline to them for how long and when and where they're allowed to use their portable devices. When you communicate these things clearly, you have a better chance of success with your kids. And don't forget, you can use those timers and visual schedules to give kids those visual reminders that they need. Remember, they're much more likely to remember and comply with the rules when they can see them rather than having to listen to you talk to them and nag them over and over and over again. As a grown-up, it'll be very important that you model the kind of behaviour that you expect from your children. So demonstrate balanced use of devices yourself, please. When your children see you limiting your screen time and engaging in other activities instead, they're going to be more likely to follow suit. And of course, you're going to use parental control features on your kids' device as well, aren't you? You're going to monitor their screen time. You're perhaps going to set timers or app limits so that you can make sure that your kids are accessing the right things that are appropriate for them. Some families even turn their router off at different times of the day so that everybody has some device-free time. This might be a bit drastic, but certainly works, and it will help you to model the kinds of behaviours that you're asking of your kids as well. You might find that setting some device-free zones in your home or even times in the day for which devices are not allowed to be used could be helpful. So maybe bedrooms are areas where there are no devices, and perhaps you set aside times like family meal times as being a time where everybody's devices, including yours, are turned off. These kinds of things can be hard to implement if you're inconsistent. So if you can make sure that in the first few days of the school holiday break you rigidly adhere to these rules, you'll find that your children are more likely to comply throughout the whole time that you're off on holiday together. School holidays might be a break from classes, but they're not a break from learning because kids learn every day. When you put learning moments into their day during the school holidays, you're giving your kids a chance to explore the world in a different way. Engaging in creative and interactive activities can spark their curiosity, nurture their passion for discovering things outside the confines of traditional learning, and sometimes create new interests that can last a lifetime. There's lots of ways that you can do this cheaply and easily at home. Hands-on science experiments that involve simple things like bicarb soda and vinegar can create messy but very exciting volcanoes that kids absolutely love. And there's lots of ideas for at-home science experiments that you can find on the internet or on YouTube to get your kids going. You might find that getting into the garden is lovely for some children, and it doesn't matter whether you have a backyard or a patio or just a balcony in your apartment. When you plant some seeds or some seedlings, there's great excitement that can be gained every day from going out to seeing how those little green things are growing, and the responsibility of looking after them and keeping them watered and pest-free is something that some children really enjoy. Don't forget too that your local library is a fantastic resource during the holidays. It's free and they have many, many things that kids enjoy. Games, books, audio books. You might even find things like magazines or graphic novels or comics might suit your kids down to the ground in the school holidays. When you go to the library too, you're also engaging their opportunity to make a choice. They can choose the things that are of interest to them. That means that they buy in. That means that they opt in. That means that they will be more likely to engage with those resources when you take them home. And so don't forget, popping learning moments into your kids' day is fine during the school holidays. Just because they're not at preschool or school doesn't mean they still shouldn't be learning. Over the last 20 years, international research has indicated some very interesting trends in the way parents interact with their children. International experts like Dr. John Gottman and Dr. Judy Dunn have found that many parents tend to notice and address their children's negative behaviours far more often than they notice their positive ones. This might mean that you as a parent might unconsciously find yourself criticising or critiquing or correcting your kids around 4 to 7 more times than you praise them for their good deeds. Now, being conscious of this is something that we as parents can all do. Putting it into practice is something entirely different. So here's some ideas for you. When you notice your child doing something positive or displaying a good behaviour that you're happy with, be very specific in your praise. Instead of making a generic comment like good job or well done, you could say something like, I really appreciate how you helped tidy up your toys without me asking you. Thank you so much. That shows great responsibility. What you're doing is you're giving children specific information about what they did well, and that is going to help them to do that again another time. You can also catch your kids being good. Make a conscious effort to catch them when they're displaying a positive behaviour. It could be simple things like sharing their toys with their brothers and sisters or showing kindness to other people or completing a task on their own. When you smile at them, when you acknowledge them, when you give them a rub on the shoulder or a pat on the head, you reinforce those positive actions. And again, you encourage their repetition. Something that I love to suggest to many families is setting up a good deeds jar. This is where you can use post-it notes or pieces of paper to pop in a time where you notice that someone in your family has been doing the right thing. And at the end of the week or at the end of the holidays, you can empty the jar and as a family, you can read through all of the notes and praise and celebrate that family member who's done something that's been really good. There are lots of ways that you can do this that are simple. When you build them into your family's routine, you build that opportunity for positive regard and love and affection and encouragement. And these things are needed all year round, not just in the school holidays. It goes without saying that you are the single greatest influence on your child's behaviour. When you model positive behaviour like kindness and patience and honesty yourself, You can shape the way in which your kids see the world, and this is relevant every day, not just in the holidays. In the school holidays and every other day when you can, it's important for you to acknowledge moments of your own growth and to learn how to communicate these with your children so that they can see that as being normal. It's called building their emotional intelligence. One of the things that I've recommended to thousands of families over the years is a game called Sweet and Sour. It's an easy way to build your kids' emotional intelligence and their connection with you. All you do is at the dinner table or the breakfast table or whenever you all get together, you go around the table and everyone in the family gets the opportunity to share the sweetest and the sourest thing that happened to them today. Now, as a grown-up, you may need to use a bit of a filter on this, but sweet and sour is a fabulous way to get a bit of a barometer for how your children are feeling. Your children may mention something or someone that gave them great joy, and that might give you a cue to follow that up and make sure that happens again. It also might give you some ideas about the things that are worrying them. It gives you a chance to talk to other grown-ups in their lives, such as teachers or educators, to see if that has become a problem. Sweet and sour gives the dominant children in your family the opportunity to learn how to step aside and give the spotlight to someone else. It gives the less dominant children a chance to shine, have their moment in the spotlight, and be heard. It also gives you, as the grown-ups, the chance to show your children that you also have joys and challenges in your life, and to use language that talks about feelings and emotions. You're going to need these connections with your children as they get older, because at the end of the day, you want to have a 15-year-old who calls you at 2 o'clock in the morning and says, "Mum, Dad, I've got myself into a bit of a pickle, but I need you to come and get me." You build these connections with your children by setting a positive example yourself and talking about feelings and emotions and making them a normal part of your family life. Your children will learn from what you say, but they'll learn even more from watching what you do, especially in moments when you don't think they're watching. So take care with your words and take responsibility for being a role model for your children. You won't regret it. Thank you for watching this presentation about solutions for the school holidays. I hope that you found some of my suggestions helpful. If you'd care to, I've created a downloadable resource that you can pick up for free. It contains information about all of the things that I've spoken about today and many more, and I hope that it will serve as a resource for you and your family, not just these school holidays, but always. If there's anything that I or my colleagues at Kids First Children's Services can ever do for you and your family, please feel warmly welcome to reach out. Our core values are care, kindness, compassion, and making a contribution, and we're here to help. Bye for now.